Well, that was completely out of nowhere, but the Rangers go out and make their big move of the trade deadline. Vladimir Tarasenko and Niko Mikola are New York Rangers in exchange for Sammy Blais, Hunter Skinner, a conditional first-round pick, and a conditional fourth-round pick. This is absolutely massive for the New York Rangers, and I am absolutely pumped. I'm looking over in the press box last night at the game. I'm seeing Chris Drury active on his phones. What could be going on? What does this mean? Well, what that meant was he was making a big move, and wow, yeah, he went out and made that big move. So does this mean that the Rangers are now still in on Tarasenko? Of course they are. They acquired Tarasenko. Are they still in on Kane or Meyer? No, I don't believe that they are in anymore because, one, they just made a big move. Two, the cap does not allow them to make another big move. So, yeah, this is going to be their move of the deadline, their big move, because they're obviously not done probably. They're probably going to add a fourth line, third line piece here and there just to fill in some extra spots on the roster, but that remains to be seen. But this is still absolutely huge, and I'm still pumped about this move. We're going to talk further in depth about it. Before we do, remember to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, because we cover the Rangers heavily. But I'm also going to talk about this on the St. Louis Blues side of things, what they got in return, and just talk about the trade. So let's start with the St. Louis side of this trade because it's not as exciting. And I'm sorry, St. Louis Blues fans. You guys got absolutely robbed of a good return for Tarasenko. They should have moved him earlier because, man, this was the wrong time to move him because of what they got. So Vlad Tarasenko for Sammy Blais, essentially, and a first, because I'd like to consider that the moves, and then Skinner, or maybe you could consider Skinner there, and then the fourth round pick is for Mikola. You could consider it if you want to break it down in two separate trades. But when it comes to Sammy Blais, St. Louis fans, you know Sammy Blais. You guys had him there, of course. He was traded in the Pavel Buchnevich deal. You know Sammy Blais very well, and I hate to break it to you, but if you have not been watching Sammy Blais this year, he is not the same player at all that he was over in St. Louis. He is cooked, and his ACL, unfortunately for his sake, and because I do feel bad for the guy, he has just not been the same because of that ACL injury that he suffered last year from PK Subban slew-footing him. So, yeah, you're not getting a guy that is going to be really productive, and I appreciate you taking on his salary, St. Louis, but yeah, he is just not the same player at all, and he's just really not that great whatsoever, and he's yet to score a goal. He didn't score a goal for the New York Rangers at all. His tenure's going to be known as that forever, to be the guy that was picked on for never scoring as a New York Ranger, and it's just unfortunate because he looked so good in preseason, and it was like, oh, Sammy Blais is going to be solid for us. We knew he wasn't going to be Pavel Buchnevich, but we thought maybe he'd be a solid 20 to 30 point guy for the Rangers, and he just never lived up to that hype. He never just came to that. So yeah, that's just the unfortunate part. And then when it comes to Hunter Skinner, you're getting a C-level prospect there. I mean, there's not a lot to be hyped about. He was a fourth-round pick in 2019, and he just has yet to crack the NHL roster. So I don't really know too much about Hunter Skinner. All that I know is that he's considered like a C-level prospect, maybe even a D-level prospect at this point. So there's not much to be too excited about there. Like, he's a whatever prospect. Maybe he cracks the St. Louis Blues roster at some point in his career, but again, I'm not even too sure. There's not much. And then when it comes to the draft picks, so the condition on the first round pick is the later of the two picks that the Rangers have. So the Rangers have the Dallas Stars pick from the Niels Lundqvist deal. So say the Rangers have the 27th pick and the Dallas pick is 29th. That 29th overall pick would go to St. Louis. So they get the later one of the two. So I really like that condition for the Rangers' sake because you get the earlier, of course, of the two picks, which is huge for you. And I like the fact that you're getting to hold on to one of your first round picks still. We knew that they were going to move one of them at the deadline. I think that was inevitable when the Niels Lundqvist trade happened, that, oh, it was extra ammo for them to utilize at the deadline. So yeah, there's that. And I think that it's a solid condition. And then the condition on the fourth round pick, if the Rangers make the playoffs in 2023, the fourth round becomes a third round pick. So that's going to become a third round pick. The Rangers, no doubt in my mind, are going to make the playoffs this year. So I find that to be a weird condition. So it's probably going to be a third round pick. Not probably, it is going to be a third round pick, most likely. I'd say the chances are 80-90% that that's going to be a third round pick. So I have no complaints there at all. because, yeah, you're going to make the playoffs, and you get Tarasenko at 50% retained salary. I have no issue with this, which, yeah, now let's talk about the big pieces. Vlad Tarasenko at 50% retained salary, nonetheless. Absolutely huge for the Rangers. So what has gone wrong for Tarasenko this season? His shooting percentage is just simply down. Usually he's hovering over 10%. He's in 11, 14%, somewhere in that range, 10 to 14%. This year, he has just been completely down in the shooting percentage. He's below 10%, and I think that that's going to change once he plays with a guy like Artemi Panarin, who's going to feed him the puck a lot. So I think you could expect that. The only question is going to be on the power play. Is he going to fit in anywhere on that top unit? Because we know Gallant's stubborn, and he doesn't like to change that power play unit. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do end up changing it. But regardless, I'm very happy with them going out and getting a guy that could shoot the puck and that could actually score some goals for them. He had 34 goals last year and 48 assists for 82 points in 75 games played. He's not on pace to be a point per game player this year, but with 29 points in 38 games played this year, of course, injuries are always a question mark. The guy loves to not play a full season. That's the only other issue when it comes to Tarasenko. But when he's healthy, he is one of the most electric players in the game. And not necessarily a top end like superstar winger, but he's still very solid and very productive. And yeah, the Rangers got themselves a really solid piece when it comes to that side of things. And he also brings a lot of playoff experience as well. He has, of course, that Stanley Cup under his belt in the 18-19 season. He had 17 points in 26 games played in that Cup run. Last year had 9 points in 12 games in the playoffs. So he does have those winning pedigrees, as we like to talk about here all the time, winning pedigrees. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that. And on top of that, you get Niko, Mikola. Very happy about that because the Rangers desperately needed another defenseman on the roster. Ben Harper, in my opinion, wasn't cutting it, and Gallant seems to agree because he was benched a lot last night. We didn't see him take a lot of shifts. So Niko Mikola definitely is going to be an upgrade over Harper. If you look at the advanced analytics, it tells you he's average offensively, he's average defensively, sitting in like the 40th to 50th percentile in those respective categories, but he can kill penalties, which is huge because we know that Jacob Trouba is always due for a penalty here and there in games, or he's due for a fighting major. So and then God forbid, you know, you have another defenseman take a penalty there. It's just like it goes deeper in the strategy there, but I can't imagine him killing penalties all the time for the Rangers, but he does have that ability to, and he is effective on it. So that's a huge thing for the Rangers. But he's going to play on the third pair with Braden Schneider, so there's not too much to worry about there. I don't see this being a bad thing. I can only see it being a good thing because, again, Harper has not necessarily been the sexiest name, the greatest name for them, and they definitely need an upgrade there. So they got out, they went out and got their 6/7 defenseman that they desperately wanted/needed. So I'm very pleased there. But yeah, Vlad Tarasenko and Niko Mikola. I'm very pumped about this move, and I don't see how any Ranger fan could be upset about this move. You get a guy that is going to really improve the team and that they desperately needed, and I think they saw the Islanders make that Bo Horvat move, and they're like, yeah, we need to go out and we need to get ourselves weaponized a bit more here because you had to get something done. But let me know your thoughts on the trade in the comment section down below. St. Louis fans, how are you guys feeling? Ranger fans, fellow Ranger fans, I should say, how are you feeling? Because I'm to the moon right now. So let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. Remember to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications to tell you know when I upload a video next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Welcome to New York, Vladdy and Niko.